Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Urban Hiker. Today I want to talk about something that is very important for all beginner hikers and campers to know, and that is to leave no trace. And as always, the first step is out your front door. So let's get going. Well, okay. First off, I want to say that there's a great source of information, and it's lnt.org. It's basically the Leave No Trace website, and it's a great first stop for people that are interested in knowing more about Leave No Trace. Basically, Leave No Trace is a practice of, well, just like it says, leaving no trace in the woods or on the trail that you were even there. So if someone was to hike the same trail right after you, they couldn't even tell that you had just hiked there. And on the website, they go over like the 7 fundamentals of leave no trace. And those are what I'm going to go over today. Step 1 in leaving no trace is to plan ahead and know what you're taking in so you know that you can bring it back out with you. Cut down on the amount of packaging and garbage that you're bringing with you so you can make sure that you're packing out all of the garbage. And just to, well, know exactly what you're going to be doing before you set out to go on your hike. So since we have to take all of our garbage with us, one thing we can do to help ourselves is to take less garbage with us into the woods. One easy way to do that is to repackage all of your food into like Ziploc bags or something like that. A lot of food comes with much more packaging than it needs. So take your ramen noodles, take them out of the package, put them in a Ziploc, take the seasoning, put them right in there with it. And that way, when you're done, you're ending with just the plastic bag and not a lot of little scraps of garbage. Carry a designated garbage bag. Actually have a garbage bag that you're carrying with you that is specifically for that, and always make sure that the bag is big enough to hold all of your garbage. That way you're not having it overflow. This way that whatever you take in, you have a place to put it and you know where you're going to put it, and you will take it out with you. But just so you know, cigarette butts are also garbage. You need to pack them out with you. Yes, you do. Number 2 on the list for leave no trace is to travel on travel and camp on like packed surfaces and hard ground, like sidewalks. The main reason to travel on hard surfaces is just so that you're not leaving a trace, obviously, but when things get muddy and you have a lot of people traveling through it, it'll just generate more and more mud and more wear and tear. Your trails get beaten right into the ground, and it's leaving a trace. So that's one thing that you can do: walk on rocks or make sure that you're camping in designated spots so that you're not making more of an impact when you go hiking or camping. Number 3, make sure that you're disposing of your waste properly. If you're going to use the bathroom, make sure you're disposing of your toilet paper, and the best way to do that is, well, if it's a campground or something, find a privy or use the bathroom in a public place. But if you have to do it out on the trail, leave the trail. You want to be, and I'm not sure exact distances, but you want to be a good distance away from any water source, a couple hundred feet. And also, I think the main thing to consider is go to a place that is not likely to be found by another person. So walk off of the trail and go somewhere that someone's not going to stumble upon your waste, which you're going to bury in a hole. I'm not sure, like I said, the specifics. I think it's a 6-inch deep hole, and you bury all your waste and then cover it up with like natural like sticks and twigs and stuff, just to camouflage it so people don't notice that what actually happened there. Every time I go camping, I always carry I call it my poop shovel, and a bit of toilet paper, just in case, no matter how far I'm camping. Obviously, if I'm doing overnights and stuff, for sure, but even on shorter camping trips, you never know what's going to pop up, so it's better to be safe than sorry. Food waste is another thing that you should consider. It's not just your waste, but also the excess food. You should never leave it on the trail. I know a lot of people believe that if it can decompose, then you can throw it on the trail or in the woods because it's just going to decompose. It's true, it will, but there's that trace. Someone's going to walk by and see your banana peel or your apple core. The best thing to do is, just like everything else that you bring into the woods, take it back out with you. That's where those extra plastic bags that you repackaged your food in come in handy. It's for taking out any of that waste or anything that you wouldn't want to just have bouncing around inside your pack. Number 4 is to minimize your campfire impact. Easiest way to do that is to just limit the amount of campfires that you have. I rarely have a campfire when I'm camping or hiking. When I'm at home, I'll have a campfire and sit around it, but when I'm camping and hiking, if I'm going to cook, I use a cook stove. And really long hikes and stuff, you're spending a lot of energy doing that, and when you come back to camp, you're just going to want to, pack in and sleep. So you just minimize the amount of fires you have as first step. Second step, use designated campfire pits. That's what they're there for. If you're going to have a fire, you should do it in a designated spot. If for some reason you can't, then if you need to have a fire or something, the best way to leave no trace with your fire is to dig a hole, have your fire in the hole, and when you're done, fill the hole back in with dirt, and you can have a fire in the woods and never show any trace. Step 3 would be to only use the amount of wood that you need. A lot of people have way too big a fire for what they actually need. Use small amounts of wood to get a small fire going for what you want. Add a little at a time as you need it, but keep from adding way too much, because then you leave all of those little pieces of broken wood half burnt and charred. Well, I got a little out of order from the website. Before the campfire goes, leave what you find. Do not go into the woods and be taking things with you when you leave. For the most part, that is because, well, if there's something nice there, people want to come back and be able to see that. I know that you're not leaving a trace of something behind, but you're leaving a trace that you were there because you were taking something that somebody else may have went there to see. Now, I understand that some people are going to be like, well, it's not going to matter if I take this small stone and take it with me. But if you think on the large scale of a place that maybe has thousands and thousands of visitors, we have to stop it before it becomes a trend. And when you have thousands of people working on one thing, removing one thing, you'd be surprised at the impact that it'll have. Next up, respect the wildlife. And cross the street and look both ways, but respect the wildlife. And I'm guessing, I didn't look too much into what they meant by this, but I'm guessing it's just, you're not out hunting. If you're out camping and hiking, be respectful of the wildlife, and not only don't be harming them, but also you're not going to be taking a bird's nest with you. Again, don't take anything with you, or affecting their habitat in any way. You want that wildlife to stay exactly the way it was before you came there, so that the next person can see the birds in the bird nests or things like that. And lastly, we're trying to be considerate to other hikers. And that's the overall reason why we try to practice leaving no trace, is so that the next person that comes walking behind you can have just as good of an experience as you had. You'll learn to love hiking and camping, and you don't want to ruin it for everyone else. So that's why we do this. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. that is my video on Leave No Trace. I hope I covered everything. If I missed something, or if you want any more information, check out that website at lnt.org, and you'll be able to figure out anything else you want to know about Leave No Trace. And I hope this video was enjoyable, and remember, the first step on every hike is out your front door. Bye bye.